Even though I've lost my voice today, I needed to speak. Because in all the chaos around conspiracy and corruption with the Epstein files, we've forgotten the children at the heart of it. So that's why I'm here, to speak for the silenced. Today, we're discussing one of the biggest institutional betrayals in modern history. The Epstein files promised justice. Instead, they delivered quiet suppression. I'm Dr. Matt, a paediatrician dedicated to helping children find their voice. When systems gaslight survivors or deny promises, I investigate. Because this isn't just a cover-up. It's a message that power outweighs victims' worth. A pattern buried in years of grooming, coercion, and abuse, and I won't ignore it. Let's rewind back to February this year, 2025. Pam Bondi told Fox News, "The Epstein client list is sitting on my desk."
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
That wasn't vague, that was a clear promise. By July, the DOJ released a memo.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. It just seems like a desecration.
No client list exists. No further disclosure warranted. Trump dismissed questions. Are you still talking about Epstein? He called it a desecration to even ask during catastrophic Texas floods.
That was a remarkable performance by the president.
It was an obvious attempt to deflect and to set the messaging like we're not talking about Epstein anymore, period.
Right.
And I'm the head of MAGA, and that's what I say. But it's too late. It's not going to be tamed just by one line from the president at a cabinet meeting. He helped create it. He helped inspire it.
I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped? Yeah. Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
The way that this could potentially be brought to the public, because I think we need mass disclosure.
But the other speculation is, as my friend Dan Turntine says, Donald Trump has deep affiliations where Jeffrey Epstein did in South Florida and on the Upper East Side of New York City. And so maybe he's trying to protect friends. Now, some people say he's trying to protect himself.
This isn't transparency. This is institutional gaslighting from the highest office. Contradictions disguised as clarity. And it's the exact opposite of what his supporters elected him to do. This isn't a partisan issue. It's about holding the powerful to account. Stick with me. Together, we're pulling this apart. We know Epstein didn't act alone. Over 1,000 victims, thousands of hours of footage, years of documented grooming, coercion, abuse, and yet, no new names, no new charges. The DOJ claims Epstein was a lone predator, that Maxwell was the only accomplice. But survivors named others, flight logs, surveillance tapes, depositions, documents. Names like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, these aren't secrets. They've appeared in public records for years. Some deny wrongdoing, some settled quietly. But the real question isn't who was listed. It's why the system refuses to ask what they were doing. And while survivors waited for answers, influencers walked out of the White House with binders labeled Epstein Files Phase 1, smiling, celebrating. Inside those binders,
we get handed these binders, and then before we even have a chance to look into them, we're hauled out actually in front of the cameras that were all there. We don't have the accountability that was spoken of. We don't have the releases that were spoken of. And it's indefensible. It's indefensible that the answers aren't there when so much was promised.
Public records available for years. No new names, no charges, no justice. And while the DOJ insists there's no client list, Epstein's own lawyer says otherwise.
I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. and they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Bound by confidentiality, suppressed by court order. Then came the memo dropped during the catastrophic Texas floods while families clung to weather alerts. It's the oldest trick in the book. Don't look over here, nothing to see. Floods on the news, Epstein buried in the shadows. It's cynical, it's transparent, and frankly it's embarrassing. Because Trump, he's doing his best impersonation of someone with something to hide. Tweets blaming the media, timing the memo to dodge headlines, telling us you're wrong to still ask. Surely they knew we'd be watching, tracking the timelines, scrutinizing every redacted page. So, is this staggering incompetence? Or is someone quietly signaling from within? As a pediatrician, I teach kids their voice matters. That when they speak up about pain, fear, harm, someone will listen. But when institutions say your abuser mattered more than the truth, that betrayal becomes trauma. Every time a survivor is silenced, every time an abuser walks free, we teach children safety is conditional, power is sacred, justice is optional. This isn't just about Epstein, it's about every child who's heard, we believe you, but we won't act. Every survivor whose story ends in redactions and delays. Myth, the system protects children. Trump, it protects itself. No blackmail material, no client list, no need for further investigation. Yet buried in the fine print over 10,000 files, images and videos of child sexual abuse. Sealed, hidden, not to shield survivors, but to shield reputations. Because if this was truly about protection, we'd be asking who made that content, who appears in it, and why haven't they been charged? And just when you think it can't get more absurd, the footage labeled RAW wasn't RAW at all. Metadata showed export tags from Adobe Premiere Pro, a full minute missing, 2 clips stitched together, aspect ratios mismatched, edited sloppily, like an amateur's first attempt. And they called this closure?
The raw Epstein footage was modified according to its metadata, despite Dan Bongino previously saying that they would release the original footage so you wouldn't think there were shenanigans.
There's video. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
Well, unfortunately, that's not what we got. Even the raw video, the original video, was put into Adobe Premiere Pro. This is a scoop from Wired. Quote, metadata shows the FBI's raw Jeffrey Epstein prison video was likely modified. And basically, they pulled the metadata and showed that the footage appears to be assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to the DOJ's website, where it was presented as raw footage, which technically it is not. You can see that right here. There's like a sudden shift in the video. I have not changed this video in any way. I have it in the Premiere Pro timeline, which I guess they had as well. So this is as intended. So there's this just weird shifts in the footage. I mean, this was done in actually a very sloppy way after they explicitly talked about needing to do it in the right way so the American public could rely on it.
Surely they must have known we'd look closer, frame by frame, timeline by timeline. So is this just bad editing? Or is someone quietly signaling from the inside? We urge kids, speak up, we'll protect you. But then we redact names, we seal documents, hide the perpetrators. So what lesson does that teach us? That suppression wins, that influence remains untouchable, that truth is treated as optional. This isn't a failure of communication, it's a collapse in morality. Suppression erodes trust, it stalls healing, and for a child who's been harmed, it sends a message. Even if you do everything right, speak clearly, tell the truth, ask for help, adults may still turn away. In my clinic, I see kids whisper secrets, then wait to see if I believe them. Subtle revelations, children testing the waters, hoping someone will listen, hoping someone will act. They want action, not empty words, and if we fail them, they stop speaking. sometimes forever. I didn't make this video because it's trending. I made it because children deserve more than silence, because perpetrators are still out there, and because systems that promise protection must be held to account. If you're angry, you should be. If you're grieving, you're right to be. And if you're still asking questions, don't stop. Drop them in the comments below and keep this conversation alive. Up next, RFK Jr. as Health Secretary. What's he hiding? RFK Jr. flew on Epstein's jet, disbanded vaccine advisory panels, and now faces lawsuits from major medical bodies over policies affecting children and pregnant women. Subscribe so you don't miss my next video, RFK Jr., vaccines, and the children we left behind. Parenting's hard. Misinformation makes it harder. But silence, that's the hardest of all. Drop your thoughts below, because silence ends when we refuse to be quiet.